a biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good.
We got him.
And guess what? When you hit those 40s,
we got him, gents.
Don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines.
Uh-oh.
Black don't crack, but everybody starts to decline at some point.
Yo, we got Umar. Yo, say it is a show, Umar. Oh, man, yo, if only Kevin Samuels was alive to see this. The man that likes me, I'm not attracted to. I just can't. Let's see what the young lady has to say.
Okay, a lot of you guys are saying, I hear you about giving the man that likes you a chance instead of the one you like, but the guy that likes me isn't attractive. I hate to say it.
Uh-oh.
But what are you attracted to? Are you attracted to like a fine body and like, you know, good teeth, nice skin? And do you have all those things? Are you fine as hell like you want him to be? Because if you're not, you're tripping. You're tripping. Stop asking for something that you're not. A lot of women out here are asking for a magical man and ain't shit about the women magical. I'm sorry. I'm a feminist, but I'm just saying.
Real quick, you know what's hilarious about this? This utter break in the sister code, like she's looking directly at the emoji of the young lady right here that's pooping on whatever the dude is that is attracted to her. So this young lady is saying, well, I'm looking at you, ma'am, and you look like a 3. So is the guy that's talking to you, is he a 3 as well? Because it actually might be a good match. So let's see what else you got to say.
In being a feminist, you have to acknowledge that a lot of women are lazy as hell. They don't apply no pressure. They don't treat their men like kings. Y'all just want a fine-ass man and you're regular.
Listen, she said she was a feminist, but a feminist holding someone accountable? Has hell frozen over? Have pigs started to fly? Because this is definitely an oxymoron. But I find it so interesting that she's stepping outside of the boundaries of the almighty sister code to help modern women today to understand the delusion that they reside in. If you guys remember Kevin Samuels' show, it was very seldom that there was like 8s, 9s, and 10s that were calling in with all of these requirements. It was more so regular or average looking women, and more often than not, they had really messy lives, but those are the ones that were calling in asking for the top 1% of man. And I think a large component of that is that women that are super feminine, super beautiful, super attractive don't have to convince the market to select them. Or it can also be attributed to a phenomenon referred to as the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is where incompetent people have more confidence within subjects or matters that they know little to nothing about. And the women that called his show what they knew nothing to little about is the top 1% of man. So often you'd see this awkward mismatch of who they are as a person and the stories behind their life in conjunction with the type of guy that they are actually looking for, without even understanding how rare that those guys are.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father.
1986. Pay attention.
1. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so you know it really.
The cycle continues.
Are not substantially important in the family.
Wow. Notice how old the clip is, but also how familiar the talking points are. Different era, same song. And what's crazy is that the single parent rate or the illegitimacy rate was around 40 to 50%. But nowadays it's upwards of 70%. So what you're looking at right now is a prophecy or a time capsule of the future that we are currently living in today. But the question is, can the modern woman today actually look at this behavior and acknowledge the perpetual trauma cycle that has engulfed the community? When will you understand the benefits of having a man in the family? Will it always be the man's fault when there's this inherent belief that the man is not needed anyway? Can that in part be directly related to a portion of the reason why so many men inevitably were not in the household? I understand that there's deadbeat daddies, but there's so many men out there that feel forced into no other decision than to leave. When will women today acknowledge in aggregate that you need men, that you need fathers? At what point will you acknowledge the myriad of different studies that go over of the benefits of having a man in the household or the benefits of having a nuclear family? Because the more that you build up stable families with two-parent household, then the children are more likely to have better educational outcomes, better life outcomes, and more stable communities. Doesn't that sound nice?
Most women see men as disposable.
So first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
Forgive me. I'm just waking up to this bullshit. Is this what I've missed? All right, let's get into it. You're supposed to be disposable.
Whoa!
You're a man. And historically, men have always known that they really didn't serve any real purpose or value to women. That's why y'all had to create laws to make us need you. You had to make us need you to own property, to open a bank account, to exist.
She hates men.
Because you've seen that women can function perfectly fine without you.
Are y'all starting to wake up yet? Y'all starting to understand the inadequacies of the double standards? Imagine if I got on my platform and I said women are disposable. Women today, you ain't worth ish. You are so disposable. No one needs you. There's no purpose for you anywhere. Do y'all understand the difference now? Are y'all really beginning to understand where we are at today? How you go from 1986 and you get women saying, nah, I don't need no father in my child's life, to here, modern day times, and women multiply that shit and just say, no, y'all are just disposable. See, if you take it back like the olden times, like back when we was in the jungle, you had the masculine, which was the leader, the protector, right? That would go out, hunt for food, bring it back. Woman was at home, domesticated, cook, care for the children. It was an even exchange. Buns for guns or spears for buns, whatever it is that you want to say with that. But because today the modern woman is so divorced from the necessity of men, because men have domesticated the world so much that they feel as though that they no longer need us anymore. So now you see so many of them with this revisionist history, right? They're revising the history as to say, we never needed men. What were men good for anyway? But I'll tell you what, that tune would drastically change if we hadn't domesticated the world the way that we had right now. Let's say that we were on some island, and let's say that a ship was coming to bay. You gonna get your ass out there and fight all of the men that are coming to perpetrate the lands? No, the guy would. Do you think that that role of being a protector, whether it be for you specifically or those that go across and fight wars, as being disposable? It's pure and utter delusion, because if men were not here to do that for you, then you would not be living in a civilized world. And if you think you could live so well without us, have all the men in the world today stop working. No more police officers, no more firefighters, no more sanitation workers, no more truckers, no more plumbers, no more bodies to do the dirty and the dangerous jobs that's required for civilizations to function. There would be destruction, chaos, and anarchy. Show us some respect.
And we like it better that way. In the animal kingdom, y'all are worthless as well. You're only fit for reproductive purposes and nothing more. Since you compare yourselves to animals, let's talk about it. Lions require large prides of women, female lions, lionesses, in order to survive. Male bees are only good for reproduction, and then their, members explode and they die and they get dragged out of the beehive by the female bee workers. Praying mantises eat the male during mating so that she can get the protein and nutrients in order to carry his, seed. Like, throughout history, animals and human males have never been good for much of shit else but.
All right, let's try to break down some of the things that she was saying. Let's go for the lion one, because at least those are mammals, okay? Understand this. Yes, the female lions go out to hunt, but guess what? In a pride of lions, there is a hierarchy. When the animals are too big to fight, Or if there's more enemy animals than lionesses, then guess who steps in to lay the smackdown? For example, a few female lions cannot fight off packs of hyenas unless a male lion steps in. Now for your insect comparison. To compare humans and human dynamics to insect life is a clear indication of malice and negligence. How do you compare human civilization, which has functional bodies such as banks, governments, hospitals, which require both genders to function, and compare that to insects? This is what happens, gentlemen, when you and your forefathers work to civilize this world. You get the ungratefulness and the entitlement of these modern women today that is completely and utterly out of this world. She's the type to never acknowledge Memorial Day, Veterans Day, or Independence Day. And the sheer abominable disrespect within that is fundamentally absurd. Imagine if you grew up and a teacher was as spiteful as she is and she's teaching boys. They'd all be doomed.
Stop hoeing around all through your 20s.
Uh-oh.
Stop hoeing around all through your 30s.
Uh-oh.
You give your 20s to the street Negroes. You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s and nobody's jumping to marry your ass. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No, no, no. There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock.
Umar.
How long you gonna be looking good. A biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good.
We got him.
And guess what? When you hit those 40s,
We got him, gents.
Don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines.
Uh-oh.
Black don't crack, but everybody starts to decline at some point.
Yo, we got Umar. Yo, say it is a show, Umar. Oh, man, yo, if only Kevin Samuels was alive to see this. Fun fact, Kevin and I actually spoke to Dr. Umar Johnson, and he liked the brother. They had a difference of talking points at a specific junction, but he actually thought it would be dope to have a sit down at some point in the future with him. But you know, that demonstrates that brothers can disagree, yet hear each other out and figure out how to push the narrative of the discussion forward. But honestly, this space gets a lot of criticism for like bashing or tearing down women. Actuality, it's only because men actually care about women. As I've said it before, I can use a sports analogy. You talk the most shit about the team that you like. You're very critical of them, but that's because you want your team to perform better. But see, the difference between the team as opposed to the modern woman is that the criticisms onto the team, they might actually listen and implement within their game. But the modern woman just seems to buck up and act like, no, what are you talking about? Why are you outing all of our information like this? You're breaking code. I don't think that it's breaking code, and it's not bashing, and it's not tearing down. It's just you're really sensitive to criticism. But it's just so crazy because even Mr. King Khan Consciousness himself has been paying attention to this sector right over here and is now utilizing some of the talking points that were generated, created, and maintained within this space. It's really interesting and really dope to see. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews at gmail.com. Did you guys like today's compilation? If you did or you didn't, leave your comments down in the comment box down below. Make sure you timestamp so I know exactly which component of the video that you were speaking about. Last but not least, guys, I got a Patreon. Hooked up to that Patreon is my private Discord community. If you want to get closer to me, my inner sanctum, my inner circle, my MT army, you already know where to find me. And not only that, I'm going to be starting up some single mixers down up in there as well. So if you're single from around the country or even around the world, you want to come in and see like-minded people that were generated and coming there because they like the content within this space and they bang with your boy, and y'all already know where to find me. Until next time, YouTube.